What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Dag Life Podcast here at the D. Nagler Group in San Diego, California, with your host, Louis Pisano. Today's very special guest that will be joining me today to talk about real estate and beyond, just to showcase a little bit about life outside of real estate, Mr. Josh Pobur.
What's up?
What's up, dude? How are you, man?
Not too much. I'm doing all right, man. I'm living in America's finest city,
Yeah.
hanging with you fine folks. So I'm
That's
good.
it. Hawaiian shirt in the middle of the winter, well, start of the winter, right?
Yeah, I'm in defiance of cold.
It's fucking, 68 degrees outside?
It's not so bad.
Yeah. Well, dude, listen, I'm excited to have you on. Looking forward to learning a little bit more about you, life outside of real estate, a little bit more about Josh.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, yourself and how you got into real estate and kind of what that transition has been like since you got into real estate.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man, I don't want to give the whole resume, but after college, I sort of fell into sales and did like mattress sales for like 6.5 years and learned a lot. And that I kind of got sick of the retail life, and I said I got to do something more independent, make a little more money, and be more in control. And it was suggested, hey, you should try real estate. And I thought, nah, I don't want to be that kind of cornball. And then I go, oh, earning potential. Okay, let's look into this. And that was I smelled the money. And while I'm not rich yet, I can say it's definitely the best career I've had so far. It has been great in that manner.
Well, that's great. How long have you been in real estate?
This is December of 2024. This is the 10th year on the nose that I've been licensed.
10 years.
Yeah.
So the end of 2014.
December of 14, I got licensed. Yeah.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
December 14, I was in my final year of college.
Nice.
Yeah. Good times. So like you mentioned something funny, right? Because oftentimes, realtors have there's a biased perspective and perception of realtors and being snakes and money hungry, commission breath. And the average consumer really has no idea what it looks like to our day-to-day job.
Really no.
Right? Yeah. So outside of the money, because I had a conversation with someone earlier today. She asked me how, because she knows a little bit about a gym friend, a couple friends know a little bit about me being a realtor.
Yeah.
They asked me about a certain client, and I was just kind of explaining. And what I was saying is there's no cap. There's no ceiling. You can literally make as much as you want based on how much. Yeah, no cap, right? So outside of the money component, because that's about building wealth, not about getting rich. What was it other than that component where you're like, okay, cool, real estate's for me?
Well, one of the things that I figured out after stumbling my way through college and completing it eventually was that my skill set lies with reading comprehension, communication, speech, vocabulary. This is where my brain was just kind of built for. I did a lot of math in college. It was tough, but I find this is, I'm a talker, and this is kind of my wheelhouse. It sort of comes naturally to me. And after all the sales training that I had, it just kind of fell in line with that. And so when you choose a career, there's money involved, but there's also what do you enjoy, what are you good at, and this triangle of those factors
and what comes with all of it together.
That comes with all of it, right? So I found that, hey, I'm pretty good at this. I'm good at talking to people. People like me, okay. I don't have a boss. I just manage myself. So my successes are my own. My failures are my own. But kind of fell in line with some of my natural skills and enjoyment. And it's also, I found it's a career that benefits us as agents in our own personal lives. So not just being a job to like make a check, but like help me invest in real estate for myself or to understand how that works. And
right.
It's multifaceted. So right around there.
Yeah. And again, right. There are plenty of realtors who get into it where it's like, hey, I need a quick buck, or hey, I'm going to get rich quick. We all know that's not the case.
Right.
Now during COVID, different component, right? Plenty of people got in, made some money, got out.
Sure.
Obviously, a lot of those people are no longer in the industry for other circumstances.
Yeah.
But with getting into real estate, what did you find to be the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge that I think in real estate is there's getting your license, which is it's like getting your driver's license and knowing how to be a good driver.
Yeah.
There's this huge disconnect between what you're required to know on paper and then what you actually need to know to do the job well. And I don't know that there's even a major in college for that. It's about habits, it's about protocol, it's expectations, it's relationships, it's ethics, it's so many things that is not book taught and is definitely not on the license exam.
Yeah, and I think that goes without saying, and I think that's a testament to, I mean, the online court, that's all open book, right? Until you get to this in-person state exam.
Yeah.
So I think given the consideration of the fact of how easy it is to get through the courses,
Yeah.
like a 10-year-old can get through it, right?
Yeah.
Even, it's very easy to get through the courses in a 3 to 4 month time span.
Yeah.
And then, it's not terribly easy to pass the exam first time, which is why there's crash courses and stuff like that, because you don't have the open book.
Right.
At that point, it becomes a memorization factor.
Yeah.
And obviously, you get into real estate, and it's like, what the fuck did I just learn? This is not that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
exactly with that, right? So there's a lot of change and a lot of differences that come with kind of getting into the industry.
Yeah.
What would you say were like the biggest lessons you learned, kind of getting the wheels spinning 10 years ago to really kind of help push your career forward?
Lessons I learned 10 years ago to push the career
Well, a
forward.
couple of the main, like a few of your like first major lessons where it's like it started to make things click for you.
I'll try to answer the best I can.
Yeah.
I think I come from a small family, a small circle, small school, so I don't have a big personal network to begin with. And one of the things I found is, yes, that can help, but that doesn't determine your success.
Right.
That you can meet someone at an open house, make a connection, they like what you got going on, and you're ready to help them, and you're prepared, and you could be making money tomorrow. So it just kind of helped me to know that I can perpetuate this, and it's not necessarily where I come from or who I knew before, but rather the habits that I apply now. And that old adage of success is when opportunity meets preparation.
Right.
So being prepared and just looking for those opportunities, success can be found anywhere.
100% agreed. And it goes without saying, there's plenty of people that, even on our team that are born and raised in San Diego, they have their pipeline, they have the people, their family friends, the whole nine, right? It's that continuation loop of always having a pipeline.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when it's a little bit slower for them, there's that future pipeline coming where they
Right.
know it's coming from.
Yeah.
For people like us, it's not the case. I'm not originally from here.
Right.
I've been here now for last month, marked 6 years exactly.
Cool.
And I've been in real estate for going on 4 full years now. So obviously it takes some time to build that pipeline. And before real estate in my hospitality career, I knew very prominent, wealthy people who've had their realtors.
Yeah.
And then I also knew a bunch of line level employees just making cash hand over fist.
Yeah.
Bartenders, servers, VIP people, other people in my field from like a director GM role where they're not quite ready to buy a home. And I've been out of that field for so long. So, for me, it's about building that pipeline and finding the opportunity, like you said.
Yeah.
Whether it's open houses or a lot of the cold calling bullshit, which, is the most fun, but it comes with the territory of being a realtor, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
Being in the industry for 10 years, for somebody that's trying to become a realtor, what's a piece of advice you would give them today?
Be patient.
Okay.
It doesn't happen immediately. Even if you get your first deal quickly, that doesn't mean you've made it.
That money will be gone tomorrow.
That's it. Prepare because financially. Anytime I've spoken to other people looking to get into it, and I say you should have 3 to 6 months income ready to go, because it can take that long to really get much of anything going. And learning how to handle that money once you get it.
Yeah.
That's another thing, because there is huge earning potential per deal. Some people never had a $20,000 check in their hand.
Right.
What is that? Well, 50,000. What is that? What do you do with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Go buy a car cash? Like, are you a drug dealer? No, you're gonna put 20% aside for taxes. You're gonna pay your broker fees. You're gonna reinvest for marketing. You're gonna, it goes lots of places.
Money management
and money education is huge. But just being prepared and patient is huge. But you have to be durable.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to shake off the losses. There's going to be a lot of those, especially early on.
I've had a lot of them lately. Been taking L's left and right, punches left and right, been getting knocked down left and right, but shit, it's part of the game.
It's a big part of it, man. And I've never been in modeling or acting, partly because I understand that there's a lot of rejection similar to real estate. I'm like, I can't deal with more rejection, especially based on how I look. You don't want to buy a house. That's one thing, but you're telling me I don't look good enough for I couldn't handle that. It would kill my ego. But
bring that ego down real low.
Yeah, like, all right, well, I'll go to another audition tomorrow. No, and that's what we face is constant rejection. Sometimes it's not even blatant. Sometimes it's hidden rejection. That's, you got to figure it out.
Shit, it's like me on a Friday, Saturday night, man. I'm getting rejected left and right.
Well, it's a numbers game, you know.
Shoot the shots. That's
Shoot your
it.
shots. Some will land, some will won't. Some deals are bigger than others,
Yeah, that's it.
and you know, you persevere. And ultimately, I look back on a 10-year career thus far, and I've been pretty consistent. Obviously, ups and downs, but on average, it's done pretty well, and I'm happy enough to stay in it.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know what else I would do. With this skill set is very specific, and
But it's good, right? It's also
yeah,
forces a plan A, no plan B,
yeah,
right? It's the method of it's the ideology of burn the ships, burn the bridges. Like there's no going back.
yeah,
It's this or nothing, and we're gonna make it happen one way or another.
yeah,
It's just a matter of what that daily typical grind looks like.
yeah.
So I want to kind of backtrack. You mentioned
Okay.
before real estate you were in mattress sales.
Yeah.
Okay, like what kind of like at what are the typical
Well,
Jerome Furniture or something like
it
that?
was Sleep Train
Okay,
was the company. Before it was purchased, it's now owned by Mattress Firm. It's been
okay, mattress firm.
disseminated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they own it now, but back when I was in it from 2008 to 2014, it was Sleep Train, which was a local company, mostly to the West Coast. And they did retail sales. And to their credit, man, they had great sales training, and I really learned a lot, and I got very good at it. And I can objectively say I was one of the like top three, maybe top five salespeople in the county, and I managed some of their biggest stores around. So
That's sick.
in that realm, I think I did very well, and it was a great learning experience. But I just kind of hit that corporate
Yeah.
ceiling, and I was just like, all right, it's enough of this.
What was, and this may not be anything, but what was like the strangest kind of like scenario you had from like a mattress sale or a client from there?
um, to be honest and grateful, there was not too much crazy
Okay.
stuff. Some fun notes. Gosh, selling a $10,000 bed to somebody really feels good.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What do you do with
yeah,
a $10,000 bed?
yeah. Well, you get real comfortable with this hand motion because what this implies is a split king adjustable
Okay.
bed to where you basically have two twin extra longs that have mechanical bases. You can sit up and adjust yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Um,
your partner likes to lays flat, you lay a little bit up. Okay.
Say it. So when you've got couples, so one likes a firm, one likes a soft, or one wants to be up, or one's snoring, or whatever, it's fully customizable. That shit's not cheap, bro.
Yeah.
That is almost like hospital grade equipment, and it is luxurious. So now I'm a total like bed snob as well as a result of that career.
What kind of bed do you have at home?
I don't have a moving one just because I didn't think it was really worth it. It's cute and everything, but I don't have any needs for it. But I just have a king size Tempur-Pedic Cloud Series. It's super soft. It'll last me decades.
That's
Don't have to
great.
turn it, flip it. Doesn't smell. None of that. It's beautiful. It's
Cool.
one of my prized possessions, to be honest.
Learn something new about beds.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
get it while you were still working there?
I had one when I
Okay.
was working there, and my ex-wife got it, and so I ended up buying a new one. And I got to tell you, on the money talk, coming back into the mattress store and being like, I'm going to take that guy, and I'm just going to put it on my credit card. I don't need financing. I don't need none of that shit. Just to walk in and flex and to be that customer that I was admired behind the counter. That felt pretty good.
I love
To come
that.
back full circle and be
That's
like,
cool.
I'll take that one. Give me that. Give me that.
Nice.
You know?
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, one thing we talk about a lot here, there's a lot of parents on the team,
Yeah.
right? We're a team of over 100 agents. We're bound to have a
Yeah.
bunch of parents.
It's true.
People bring kids in all the time. You do as well with the two boys.
Yeah.
How does, right? Everyone likes to think of, oh, realtors have so much flexibility. You work whenever you want.
Yeah.
No, it's not the case whatsoever. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's flexibility. We can control our schedule to an extent.
Yeah.
What does that flexibility help provide in terms of being a father and husband with the wife and kids at home?
Yeah, man, right on the money. Being able to pick my kids up at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon,
Because you're not stuck in a
because
cubicle.
I'm not stuck in a cubicle. I'm not locked into a schedule necessarily. While we do have flexibility, that also means we have inconsistency, and so that's one of the challenges. Is one day you can be sitting around, you got nothing going on, which is not so often, but other days you're busy to the teeth, and
Right.
I'm sending docu-signs in traffic, and I'm eating, while I'm picking somebody at, multitasking.
Yep.
So we face all those things, but having the flexibility in my career to spend time with my kids is definitely one of the most rewarding parts of it. One of the huge bonuses because, I I did not grow up with a father, and so it sort of became a huge thing for me to be a good father to my kids.
Love that.
And so, I've got half the time with them; they're half time with their mom, and I try to make the best of that time. And to me, time spent is time spent. Now we try to make it fun, but life's not all about fun.
Right.
I make sure that they're doing what they got to do, and a lot of times they're hanging out in the back of the seat, reading a comic book while I'm
Yeah.
doing a showing or
Yeah.
something. And that's part of life. But I feel like it's not so bad, that they take a nap in a car versus,
Yeah. And they're
you could be, I could be making you clear tables at my
yep.
restaurant, like child, children.
Child labor.
They could be involved in the family business and just have to do that
Yeah.
because that's what we're doing. That's a huge common thing. But the closest I got with that is I had my youngest son. I had him go around hang up door hangers
Okay.
on the neighborhood with business cards
Love
and
that.
stuff. I said, "All right, you wanna earn some money or whatever? Go hang these up around the neighborhood."
That's
So
cool.
I had him do that. That's the closest involvement they've had. But
That's cool. You have great kids too. They've obviously been in the office a couple of times, and it's
pretty
obviously a
good
testament
dudes.
to being raised by good parents and,
Yeah,
and
thanks,
obviously
man.
putting a lot of effort into that.
Yeah.
What is something we conversation I always have is what is it like to make the balance, right? Especially when you have split time with them. Like where's the difficulty lie there, and how do you make it work?
Um,
Like time spent is time spent. Like what does that look
yeah.
like from you from like a harmony perspective?
Well, I mean, in general, there is a benefit to it where you go, all right, half my life, kids are going to be the priority. What do they need to do? Where do they need to go? What's best for them? And you prioritize that. The other half of your life, it's adult time.
Yeah.
Go out with my wife and go have fun, relax, not have kids around for a minute, which every parent needs that time to not be around their kids, to recharge the batteries, to speak to an adult, have a drink, whatever. Be yourself. But it's easy to balance when it's a set schedule.
Yeah,
I know
true.
when I'm going to have them, when I'm not. I know when we're going to plan trips, when I'm not. When I'm going to focus on them, or when I'm not.
That's good.
So it lays out pretty simple.
Nice. Love
Yeah.
that, dude. With in terms of like being a part of the crew, right? Because you've been here now for going on a year, right?
Yep.
January will be a year.
12th month. Yeah.
Yeah, going on a year. Wow. Can't believe it's already been a year, right?
Real quick.
So in terms of like coming to DAG and one thing that I always like to, obviously DAG life, right? Something that what I like to tell people is we're a very unorthodox crew in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like there's no other way that I could think to
Yeah.
explain it. And obviously we all have our own thing as a team of like who we are that we like to portray.
Yeah.
And everybody has a moment where they visit the team, they meet with the team, and they're like, okay, this is a place I can call home. What was that moment like for you? Like when you felt like, okay, cool, this is where I belong.
Well, it came with a little bit of reputation and pretense. This team was recommended to me from a past office that I was at that I was exiting, and they said, "Hey, maybe you should check out Dean Aguilar Group. Heard they got good things going on." I didn't come here immediately. I was a little sour with that guy. I said, "Fuck your recommendation."
Took a couple of months, me and you going
took
back
a
and
couple of
forth.
years, yeah. But when I was looking for another home and found the DAG team, visited the office. Not having any negative signs was positive, as well as I'm a believer in the saying that what's not a saying, but rather data shows that people trust people who use swear words because
True.
they are more honest. And so dropping an F bomb means you're more unabashedly yourself. You are more honest. You're more forthcoming. You don't feel like you're hiding anything. You don't feel like you're pretending. And so when you have a group of people who are like, "Fuck yeah, let's do business. Let's get good together.
Yeah.
Let's all make money. Let's
There's no
kill it."
facade.
It's honest,
Yeah.
and I love that because I think that matters, and I think that shows ethics. I can't stand fake people, and I certainly can't work with them. So that was huge for me. Not like, "Oh, cool, you say fuck, I want to work with you."
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
it's a vibe and it's an attitude of priorities and not taking yourself too seriously. Um, and one of the things I noticed about this team that I want to advertise is while we are freely ourselves, I do notice that there's sort of like invisible barriers. Like we don't have like an HR department, but there are things that I notice are not crossed. Nobody feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's
There's
not.
lines. They
Yeah,
might be blurred, but there's lines.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I noticed that people are pretty comfortably themselves while not offending or
Yeah.
making other people uncomfortable. So
And it's funny because like for me, coming from a large Italian family where it's literally the same exact thing,
Yeah.
to me, it's just family.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm super biased. I always admit it. Like, I've been with DAG since I got into real estate.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I've never had a reason or a thought or idea of like, oh, should I explore something? It's never crossed my mind.
Right.
And me being, being on the growth side of being the gatekeeper of what that looks like,
Sure.
protecting the integrity of the culture is the number one most important thing that is my responsibility in terms of growing the team. And where I'm most prideful is the retention that we have.
Yeah.
Right. We're not losing people left and right. There's not dozens of people leaving on an annual basis. And that's a testament to the team. It's a testament to the culture. It's a testament to the vibe, the opportunity, the collaboration, the contribution. I think it's from top down, bottom up. Right. So I think it goes without saying that, everyone that's a part of our crew is definitely family. That's why it's so fucking easy to fuck around with each other and have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
But also crush it in real estate,
right?
Which is obviously, the main component to that. In terms of, kind of where you're at now with the journey that you've had and kind of the outlook for 2025, what are some things that you're excited about moving forward, whether it's career, personal, family related? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, 2025. I will be turning 40.
40. When's your birthday?
May 28th.
May 28th. Okay.
Yeah,
Memorial Day weekend.
Always.
Yeah. That's a big 40th.
Everyone memorializing my age every year. Yeah. So
what are you looking to do?
I've got some options. I've got a good buddy of mine whose birthday is about 2 weeks after mine. So we often celebrate together. He's going to be turning 40 as well. So we might do something together. I wanted to go to Japan, but I was going to take the whole family, and that's a baller trip. And I don't think, we'll see how Q1 goes.
Yeah, let's knock it out of the park.
Take a little extra coin to get to Japan. I got plans to go to Puerto Rico with my wife in January. So we're going to be planning that real quick. But professionally, I am grateful to say I've hit a point in my career where I'm starting to get repeat business. I'm starting to have my clients that I helped buy years ago come back and say, hey, I'm ready to sell, ready to move, do business again. And that's something that, boy, it's really helpful because in a climate, in a market environment, I think the last couple of years have not been on fire. And to have that has been tremendous.
It's huge.
To have people come back and say, hey, thanks for working with me before, let's do it again. That's the biggest compliment, man. For people to come back and want to work with you again is huge. And that is becoming a awesome foundational point of my business, because then these clients are referring me more business, which is what I had a lot of in 24. So that perpetuating itself is really exciting.
That's huge.
Good. At least I have something foundational to stand on. I've got friends that or clients that I consider friends, and that I can plan on business there, and then of course always looking for new business. So
full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead, man. We'll see what this year has in store. New president and everything. We'll see, but
no comment.
Yeah, no comment there.
No need to comment. We're not a political party here.
No. Don't want to go down that road. But it's just a big we'll see for sure.
For sure. And as is every year.
Yeah, and we'll control what we can control, and do what we can do. But I'm excited.
Yeah. Same, man. I think, and just like you said, the compliment piece, right? It's a testament to who you are.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the work you provided and the support and the type of work that you provided to them, right?
Yeah.
Just being that kind of person. So that's huge. So congrats there. 40, man, that's a big one. That'll be exciting. Yeah. Well, I hope it all works out. I think, for all of us collectively, we're looking forward to a very exciting and fucking word am I looking for right now?
Productive.
Very exciting, productive, and just a very optimistic 2025 ahead.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of, obviously when it comes to DAG, there's a lot of things that we like to encompass. We all pour into each other. There's a lot of love, talk about a lot of wins and losses. And what it always brings me back to is always trying to see what kind of advice we can give each other, right? Because, I posted something last night in our Slack about like motivation, right? It's easy to give up. Yeah. It's easy to call it. It's easy to call it quits. And we've all had our ups and downs. We've all had our highs and lows. And it's just throughout life, right? It's just a matter of keep going.
Yeah.
One thing I always like to ask is, if you were sitting in front of 18-year-old Josh, almost 22 years ago, what is one piece of advice you would give Josh today?
Be a doctor. Don't go to that school. You're not an engineer. Be a doctor. No, I mean, if you're speaking more generally, I God, this midlife crisis does a whirl on you, and I really try not to play the woulda, shoulda, coulda
Yeah,
game, because that you can pull on that thread, and it can be so many things.
for sure.
Don't talk to that girl, don't go to that school, do this instead, because hindsight's so 2020. But um, honestly, if I had stuck to my guns or as I did, and not want to do medical school for 100 years, I probably would have just got into real estate sooner, because I didn't do it until I was almost 30.
Yeah,
And I think if I had started out in my 20s, I would be a lot more productive. Now I would have established a much greater business. I would have, oh my God, I would have gotten to go through the Great Recession, and I would be a pro at short sales and foreclosures
for
by now.
sure.
I missed out on a lot of business
A
there.
lot of opportunity.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have too many specifics otherwise, but
Yeah. And I think you pointed
yeah,
out you made a good point, right? You pull on that string so much, but how much would change,
yeah,
right? It's something like what I would say is I would just tell them to keep going.
yeah,
Just don't worry about changing direct. Just keep going.
yeah,
You'll figure it out as you go. And the only reason I say it is because it's the same expression comes back to is like a lot of people have regret. I fucking hate regret.
yeah.
It's there
It's
are there
poison.
things that we could have, should have, would have wanted to do differently in a certain point in our lives if we had known better. Sure,
Right.
it's easy to look back, just like you
Yeah,
said, hindsight's 2020. But
yeah,
if we went back and changed any of the decisions we made or fixed those mistakes, how much of who we are today would really be here?
yeah.
Right? Like every mistake I've made throughout my life, which is a lot.
Sure.
Everything I've been through throughout my life, which is a lot. Been
Yeah,
through hell and back a million times.
yeah,
Who would I be today if those things didn't take place?
yeah,
So it's easy to say, oh, I wish I had done this. Sure, it is easy to say that.
yeah.
But at the same time, as you wouldn't be who you are today because of it.
It's very true.
So I definitely align with that. So there's no reason to kind of change where you're at. Just a matter of projecting where you're going and change course if you need to.
That's all we can control, man.
That's
Can't
it.
change the past. We can just guide our future.
That's it. I love
Yeah,
that. I love that.
absolutely.
I have I'm big on sayings.
Yeah,
If you can't tell from my social media, but it's we're not a product of our circumstances. We're a product of our actions and our choices.
yeah,
And I wholeheartedly believe in that. And there are a lot more things that we have control over than we believe, but there's also a lot less that we fucking control.
it's true.
And when you learn how to walk that fine line and kind of balance the two, it helps everything be better.
Yeah,
One last thing I want to chat about is something I always like to end each episode with is being here at DAG. One thing that we talk about very often is legacy.
yeah,
And it's something that's super big, top down from Dean and Afro all the way down to everyone. And it's something, a lot of people don't believe in legacy. But at the end of the day, I think there's something that all of us want to be remembered for.
yeah.
When you look down the road, when it's all said and done, what does Josh want to be remembered for?
Uh, well, another one of those midlife crisis thoughts that you have sometime is, who would be at my funeral, and how would that go? What would they say about me?
Yeah,
So you have those thoughts. I think in general, I'm a very low conflict person. I pretty kind. I think for the most part, that's what I aim to be, and um, I think I'd be remembered as that. I think my legacy would be um, mostly love and kindness, man. I want to mention a money factor again, because when I grew up, I had a single mother household, and I was not educated on finances
right.
really ever, and sort of just fell through it in my 20s. And so I've made it a big point, to educate my kids on finances. They're only 11 and 13 now. They probably won't receive an education about finances through school, but it's something I plan to do an actual curriculum with them to prepare them for this world. Man, this is such a huge part of this world is money. It makes it go round, and it's not something that we really are taught uh, involuntarily. It's something we have to seek out.
Right.
So that's something that's important to me. Is I don't know how much it relates to legacy, but it's something that I want to relate to my kids. Literacy, financial literacy. And so that's just something that popped into my head when you said it. But overall, I really think being a kind person, being a caring father, and um, you know, just the positivity that I can bring, helping people in my career, um, taking care of family, and just being a good friend to people too. So it's kind of it's those deep things that stick.
Yeah.
It's not how many deals did you do or kind of car you drove. People don't remember that stuff much. It's
It's
more
the person.
it's the deep impressions that you leave.
Love that.
So that's
It's
what I'll be
huge. That's
focusing
huge,
on.
man.
Yeah,
Love to hear that. Well, I appreciate it. That's as good of a place to end as anywhere else.
sounds good.
Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Dag Life Podcast. We'll see you next time.
All right.